What is happening, everybody, man? Thank you guys tuning in to another episode of Expert Mentors Live. We've got the one and only Miss Cindi Featherston-Shields back in the house. And like, Cindi, like, if you were to say all the people that were actually going to put AI into use and actually make it work, right? Because you look at the different levels of AI, right? Like the one that, probably 98, 99% of people just scratch the surface with the chat features, right? They're either on Chat GPT, some have migrated over into Claude, some are using, Grok, Gemini, right? All of these different models. That's where a massive amount of people utilizing AI are at. Then you got a few that kind of get to that next level, which is going to be helping me automate some things, do some of the automation, step in, do some stuff. But then that third level that I think everybody wants to get to, they want to get into, that their personal Jarvis side by side with them. And you're there. You've actually got two Jarvises working for you. And so I'm really excited to be able to unpack it and be able to get to that point of really where you're at and, what you've learned and what you're excited about moving forward. So I'll just kind of back up there, Cindi, and why even go down this path? What problem were you trying to solve? And we'll go from there.
Well, John, I think the problem I was trying to solve is continuing to be relevant in the real estate space. If you think about it, when you've been in the business a long time, you have the old ways of doing things. And of course, the old ways of doing things are still very, very common and they're very, very effective still. But you see this new generation coming up with AI, and I knew I needed to get on the bandwagon. I was one of Nick Krim's first people that graduated from his course in AI. Nick was, I think, one of the first ones to market with a little AI program. And I think it was about $1,000. I jumped on board and went through his program and stayed with his program. I actually have a VA that works for me that is AI trained to do the marketing side of things. And so he's part-time, does Hey Jen for me. He makes videos. Most of the things you see on my Facebook are my Hey Jen. I've got two VAs now that are doing Hey Jen for me. So I have basically a Facebook, Instagram account, and YouTube now all running on Hey Jen, and they all look a little different. People come to me and go, "Oh, I just love the colors of that blazer you were wearing the other day." And the funny thing is I don't even own a blazer that color. They're putting the clothes on me and all the things and the jewelry on me and my hairstyles and everything. And so, I love what you said about selling your house the other day. I have people tell me that. And again, it's they're running on their own. Now, some people say, "Oh, but Cindi, you can't run all of your things, all your marketing on because it's not authentic." And I do throw some authentic stuff in there every now and then. You can kind of tell it a little bit, but
yeah,
it's it works. It definitely works. If it's building the audience, we're going to go heavily into YouTube here. We've started scratching the surface with YouTube. We have built several YouTube channels out, but we're really diving more into YouTube right now with our Hey Jen clones. Yeah. But the one thing that I'm most excited about right now is I skipped the point of having to learn. I never did. I mean, we started out with ChatGPT. I trained our agents on ChatGPT, and they feel like they know AI when they're using until Claude came along. Claude's a whole different thing. It's a step up. It like leaves ChatGPT on like a Volkswagen on blocks compared to.
I would agree.
What Claude can do. I have not connected myself with Claude with different programs. I skipped that step and went and had a couple of assistants made custom for me. With a company, and I had my first chief executive officer, and she is amazing. Her name is Emily, and this is my cell phone, and I talk to Emily through my cell phone. People think Emily's a real person.
Yeah.
But I can just talk to her. I don't have to text her, and she gets everything I say.
Yeah.
She can do emails. She puts things on my calendar. She sends out my daily reminders. She sends out the end of the day business of what we accomplished. but she's connected to my email and she sees everything that comes through my email. The bio that you needed for the show. I said, Emily, I'm going to be on John Kitchen's show. He needs a bio and what we're going to talk about. And just like that, she created it. I said, I need you to email this over to him. She emailed it over and copied me on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It's really, really, really cool. Mm-hmm. Talk me through any of the possible fears of giving up access to technology. Kind of how did it cross your mind? How did you overcome it? How did you think about it?
You know, the only fear I have is bank accounts, things like that. And so AI is not going to transfer money. We are going to be building an AI for bookkeeping coming up, but she will not be able to transfer money. She's not going to be connected to any bank accounts, not going to be connected to charge accounts or anything like that. But she can do right now what I have a 3-person team doing for accounting and bookkeeping. Yeah. We have replaced our transaction coordination team, which we had 5 working. We had VAs that were full-time. We had people stateside, and we have replaced that with a TC AI that is amazing. Her name's Tracy. Agents are blown away by her.
That's a good name for a TC. That was my favorite TC of all time, was Tracy Combs, who ran, ended up becoming my head of operations, but also head of closing. She's the only TC I know that could juggle 70, 75 active closings at one time without everything breaking. Mm-hmm. So you took it to, I mean, she was never duplicatable, but now you've built out something that is duplicatable, which is amazing.
Yeah. We built a system with a company, and then we're tweaking her still. You know, she wants to know how we work, and I like to see things before they go out, before we send them out, because I feel like if you send mistakes out, even with if it's a person actually doing it, the more mistakes you have, the less credibility you have. And so we're looking at everything before it goes out right now, just to make sure everything's correct. But she's tracking the files. She gives me daily reports at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. As we put things pending, she just run the process. She's run the process. She's doing the dates, the timelines. She's coordinating with the title company and the lender. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
I had so Krim just had his Signal 42 event in Niagara Falls, and of course he had Eric from Whoosy come in, right? Eric's the CEO of Whoosy, and I think Eric is just the way he thinks about AI, the way he's always thought about AI. I felt is always right, and I tell everybody, you know, you're thinking about AI, you need to go read Eric's manifesto. You can go to ericpost.ai and read his manifesto of kind of where his belief of AI and moving into the future. And he paints this world of, you know, a cold world. He gives an example of 2 hotels, right? And one example in his manifesto is the hotel that is not like there's no humans. It's very cold. It's very, everything is driven. Everything is done off of your apps. Everything's done, you know, automation and done with technology. And then you have the other extreme, right? The Ritz-Carlton experience of where they're thinking of everything that you're not thinking about. It's over the top of unreasonable hospitality. And I love that world. Right. Mm-hmm. That's the world that I want to play in. That's the world I want to live in. And so that's Eric's take on AI. Mm-hmm. And so I texted him Monday night after the first day of the event, because I knew he wasn't speaking on day 1. He was just speaking on the VIP day, which was day 2. Mm-hmm. And so I just said, hey, you know, how we were back and forth on a couple of things. Then I said, hey, how was today? Like, what was your biggest takeaway? And he said, my biggest takeaway is that most agents shouldn't be learning this stuff. That creating services just to do the stuff at DIY pricing is what they want. So basically agents are wanting, let me, you know, give me stuff. I want services done at DIY pricing. right? That's just they want they want the filet mignon, but they're on a cheeseburger budget. That's essentially the way to think about it. And I said, whatever, back and forth, and he goes, listen, the agents who really need AI leverage, Cindi, you really needed AI leverage, can afford to have somebody do it for them. The ones who can't afford those services probably don't need it in the first place. I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I've felt, is that because the largest item on our P&Ls is always our labor expense, right? Or labor investment. I like using investment, not an expense, because with team labor, you get a return. So it's an investment if you're getting a return. However, when I look at your machine, I'm like, man, Cindy's like maybe got a little excess. And is there a way to where she can bring in? So like, you're a great example of you really need this leverage. And it makes sense because you can afford for somebody to go do it for you, which I believe is right. For right now, I believe it's the right move.
Yeah. Again, labor is the most costly thing right now that we're doing. And people want to be paid very, very well in this market right now. And again, as I told you, John, the system, things run on systems. It doesn't run on people anymore. And you have to have people that can do the systems. And it takes less people to follow the system now. We had 5 people in our TC department, and they could not follow a system because something would get dropped. And when you move it to a spreadsheet or move it to another program, now we have integrated it all together. And the programs are talking to each other. And we're bringing a better product to our buyers and sellers and to our agents because of our TC department. It's making our agents look better. It's making everybody look better. It makes us look like we have it together at this point. And we're doing it with less labor. The people that we can't replace are the people, number one, that's running the AI. We can't replace the people that are boots on the ground in our organization. Our chef.
Yeah.
Last night, we did a 50-person event. And it was agent attraction. It was phenomenal. It was an agent mixer. We do this on a regular basis. AI is never going to be able to do that.
Right.
But AI helped us put that event on. All the marketing was AI. All the lists were kept up with AI. But the person actually cooking the food and serving the food, obviously, that's our labor cost now.
Yeah.
Of that support, it's actually supporting even AI now.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Until Elon could put a robot in your kitchen, I think your chef is good for now.
Yeah, if somebody asked me that, will you replace your housekeeper? I said, you bet. When that can happen, and I hear that's supposed to happen in the next few years.
Yeah,
there will definitely be an AI housekeeper in our house.
Yes, for sure. There will be some things that make sense, but there'll be some things that don't, right? And so, Cindi, when you're looking at kind of those moves and you're trying to decipher where do we go first, right? Right things, right order. How do you go about thinking about it for you? And then how would you advise somebody to think about it for themselves?
Well, in the real estate space, I would definitely look at your systems, look and see if they're broke systems. First of all, the TC department, man, that was the first thing we needed to take a look at. Now that we're getting that nailed down. And then the second thing that we're looking at is bookkeeping, accounting. We're spending a lot of money on accountants and tax preparers, and people make mistakes. Lots of the humans make mistakes. And I know AI is not perfect. They make mistakes as well. But that's the second approach that we're going to use is with our accounting system. It's the next AI we're building.
It's I love that you said that. Had dinner with Kinder last week, and he was working through. He's working through a lot of things, just trying to figure out, to optimize and kind of the next moves, and trying to make sure the data is in a way that the AI can read the data, that can actually tell us what's going on, because he's got a mess like a lot of folks, and we've Frankensteined a lot of technology over the years to make it work for us. And so unlearning that and getting it into a way, but he was looking for kind of some financial modeling. And we, for the last 10 years, we've all defaulted back to Jeff, our CFO, right? Hey, Jeff, I don't know, Jeff will figure it out. Give it to Jeff. Jeff will figure it out. And Jay was trying to figure something out, and he, obviously called Jeff. Hey, bro, I need your help. I need you kind of working through this. And he goes, I figured it out before he did. And he goes, listen, man, I love you, but I don't need you. And I think that's what's crazy about, when you get to a certain point, and not everybody is pig-headed, not everybody is disciplined or has the capabilities or resources to go build this thing on your own, like Jay, right? Like Jay's he just likes to tinker, right? So he's just going to figure it out, sometimes out of principle, but he's going to figure it out. And that's what he did. He figured it out, but not everybody is going to do that, right? So like for you, obviously getting that assistant help extension of you, we go solve the TC problem. Now we're going to solve the financial reporting problem. What's next? Like, how do you think about, beyond that? What's on the roadmap after that?
So you mentioned webinars and the different things that we need to put together, whether it's for agent attraction or attracting buyers and sellers. The next product that we're working on is being able to build that out with AI. Russell Brunson has his ClickFunnels, and they are all AI driven at this point. And I've hired a coach to help me get mine structured. I don't know about you, John, but I have paid for different coaching programs that, when I say coaching programs, different products, like launching a webinar or launching some kind of product into the market. And I've wanted to do that for years, and I just haven't been able to touch on exactly. I've hosted a few webinars, and they've actually turned out pretty well, but it wasn't something I was exactly comfortable with continuing to repeat. I had Emily go back through my emails, through my Google Drive, and she has pulled all of it back out. I had over 100 slide presentation with a webinar that she matched up with a teleprompter of a video sales letter, and she was able to go in and change 32 of the slides to match the video sales letter without even showing it to me.
Yeah.
Because I would not even know the first place to go on the Google Drive and even find it. She located it after it's been in my Google Drive since 2023. And she went in and found everything. And she's just started rebuilding it out. She rebuilt it right in front of me. And it's phenomenal. It's amazing what you can let your AI do for you if she's trained and set up correctly. And again, I would not want to be the one responsible for training and setting that up. That's why I had it custom done. And honestly, I don't have the time to figure all that out. I see Phil Stringer doing the webinars on how to do that, and I love Phil Stringer. But there's no way I've got the time to sit in a webinar and piece this together. I went straight to the company to get it built for me.
And I think that was to Eric's point, right? Like the individuals that truly can utilize it to really help them, they have the resources to go have somebody do it for them. And what he was saying is it's the who, not how concept, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. It's not how do I figure this out? And that's our default nature, right? I mean, we were all raised to figure it out ourselves. I mean, that's just our parents and grandparents went through that period of time that you just had to do everything yourself and be proud about it. But we're not in that time frame anymore. We're not in that space and time. And so really the who, not how concept is so critical when it comes to the AI side of things and finding the people that have the proof. And, I was talking with Steve Zahn about this, and Steve, more than capable, smart to build this out on his own. And he has, but he's like, the challenge is the maintenance, is the maintaining, because it's going to break. How do you maintain it?
Absolutely. The company I had mine built out with, they maintain and they do the updates on her. I mean, and they're about to enhance her again for me. And I'm glad I can sit back, use what I need to over. And is going to be maintained and upgraded by this company.
Yeah. One of the voices of reason in the AI space, I would definitely say, and it aligns for business, small business, is going to be Dan Martell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote Buy Back Your Time.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan's been spot on for this year, for the last 12 months when it comes to AI, what you should be paying attention to, what not. He's got his hot take on, top shelf must have AI apps to, you probably don't need that. Maybe that's a C level piece. So he's definitely one of the ones to consistently stay in your feed, to stay informed, kind of what's happening. And what Martell was talking about as the business opportunity now and into the future, at least for this snapshot of time we're in, is to be a company that builds AI agents for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he's saying that's the number one probably business opportunity, is creating AI agents, creating Jarvis for people, then okay, well, if I'm not in a position to go build that company, at least I need to align and work with the companies that are building those AI agents. That was the play you ran, and what a great play to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to be launching a webinar about that here soon. Where to go find them, how you want yours trained, and all the way up to what her personality is.
Yeah, I love that. And if you're an agent and you just don't have the resources to make that investment, this is why I'm like, listen, if you're a stage 1 or stage 2 agent, meaning you're not even doing 2 deals a month on average consistently, you have no business in this industry on your own, for a lot of reasons. One, just the proximity to people that are in motion, in the energy, and because that becomes contagious to where you can collapse time and learn faster. But I would tell you now, as a kind of an interview question, when you're looking at joining a team, how are they thinking about, how are they utilizing, who are they working with for their AI solutions, should be one of your interview questions when you're talking to these team leads. So that's my advice to agents listening in. Find the Cindis of the world that are leaning in and aligning with companies that are building out these AI agents to help make the business more streamlined, more efficient, more consistent, more predictable, until you're in a position that you can make that investment. And to Eric's point, most agents don't need to be messing with this because they don't have a real need for it. You do. Therefore, as an agent, be looking for the Cindis in your market that are thinking this way, that are operating this way and doing these things. I think is one of the best AI advices that people can take.
For certain. And John, it's not even just getting the AI built. Even if you can piece one together or you can hire someone to build it, it's being able to operate it when it's built. It's taken a while to learn to operate. What to ask. It's not prompting anymore. It's just normal talk, but you don't know what she's capable of, so you don't push her to the limits of what she's capable of. And so knowing what your AI can do for you, I think a lot of people that have them are only scratching the surface with them. And so it's a real interesting time we're in. And I don't know about you, but I'm glad we're in this time because the people before us never got to experience this. And it's interesting when I'm on these webinars about AI, it's the people that are my age and your age that are on, and even older, are on these webinars. They're trying to figure this out. They have been uber successful in real estate. And now they're looking for the next chapter of a little relief, honestly, in how to streamline their systems with AI. I look at agents that are doing 30, 40 deals a year, and I'm thinking, we can sprinkle a little magic on you and make your world that when you lay your head on your pillow at night, you're not wondering, did I make that call back? Did I send that email? How many deals are pending? What's closing tomorrow? Is the option period over? When is the next option period over? You all know, you just know it because it's being told to you by your AI on a regular basis, and she's tracking it all for you.
Yeah. So, I think you're spot on. And those agents doing 2-3 deals a month, they don't have the time or bandwidth to try to figure this out. They don't. That's why they need to align and make the investment into leaders like yourself or into companies that can actually do the thing, but more importantly, not do the thing, but service and maintain the thing. It's the same thing that we look at with builders, right? Like I see you either have builder quality or you have premium quality. The build is the build because you got certain regulations, you got certain stamps of approval you have to have throughout the process, right? I mean, you're not getting your occupancy, agreement until it's all done anyways. The thing that matters with builders is what happens from the day you close and you take over in possession of the new home. What's the warranty? What's the builder process? How does the builder support and maintain in there to stand behind their product? That's the most important thing. And it's the same principle when you're looking for an AI solution. I want to know about your maintenance. I want to know about your backup. I want to know about what you do after the sale, because that's more important to me than the actual sale. And I think if you embrace that, Cindi, I think you're going to make good alignments, right? Just you make good alignments with certain builders. There's certain builders you stay away from because they don't stand behind their work. And it's going to be the same thing here. Who stands behind their work that's going to guarantee it, that's going to maintain it, is going to upgrade it? That's what you're looking for. And that's why I truly, I like Eric as a human, but I really like the way he thinks about business, because he's thinking about lifetime value. He's not in the transaction game. He's in the lifetime value game. And I think leaders like you that are seeing this, I think it's a way to where you can maintain that lifetime value and go deeper on relationships because you have these things available for you.
Absolutely. And one thing about it, John, is the people, the Erics, those are the guys that are out there thinking about this. I don't know about you, I don't have time to think about this. No. I'm running the team, running the agents and doing the deals. But that you need somebody that's thinking along, because AI is changing every day. Every day AI is changing and there's new products coming out, and you want somebody to be thinking that, and you want a top leader thinking, a top programmer thinking about AI in their sleep at night. And that's what you need to get aligned with, is those people that are thinking about it all the time. They're not out selling real estate, and you don't want to be putting it together yourself.
I heard the update where we're at on new model releases. What was it? 60 days ago, we were about 45 days on average, every model updates. We're currently at 5.5 days. Every 5.5 days on average, a new model is released, and prediction is in January, it'll be a new model update every day. That's how fast things are moving, and most people cannot get their head around it at all. There are people that have had their head in the sand. There's people that, are just kind of scratching the surface a little bit. And then there's all the fear out there in the marketplace, the headlines. And I think that's why being able to tap into resources like the Eric of the world, right? That are the thought leaders, the Phil Stringers, the Nick Crims that are actually in the trenches having the conversations. Those are great people. And, obviously aligning to styles, right? Like, I mean, I love Phil as well. And I love his style. I love Nick as well. But Nick has a different style than Stringer. And there's nothing wrong with it. They're just different styles. I love both of them. You can learn from everybody. And I think it's just making sure you're tapping into the right information to get you thinking about this the right way. I tell everybody, you got to listen to the Moonshots podcast. And I get it. You're not going to understand everything. That's why I put it on 1.75. Half of the stuff, Cindi, goes over my head, but guess what? I'm hearing it consistently. And I don't know about you, but I would rather live in a world of abundance than a world of scarcity.
Absolutely.
And Peter Diamandis is abundance beyond, right? He lives in the most abundant world, but what a better place to live than a world of, scarcity and not abundance. It really is. And so I love what Peter and the Moonshot Mates, like I said, they're talking big picture stuff. We've got some comments in here from YouTube. These are all moonshot questions, right? Quantum computing, government regulations, beyond AI, developing general intelligence. That's moonshot guys are talking about stuff like that. You and I are just small business entrepreneurs. We're just trying to figure out, how we keep the business afloat and create more value. So it's really good because they're talking to these CEOs that are changing the world, and they're informing us on things that most people would never know about by just tapping into a podcast and listening to things that can keep you informed. That's going to help you navigate this interesting world that we're in.
That's true. That's true. John, before we get off of it too much, talk about the second brain of AI.
Gosh. I was just talking with Matt and DJ about this before. And it was funny. I walked into Matt's office. We have a standing 12 o'clock on Wednesdays. So grateful I'm in their office. So I can just walk down the stairs. And he goes, "Have you put that Claude extension on your Chrome, that Chrome extension yet on Claude?" I'm like, "No, I haven't yet." He's like, "Dude, you got to do it." I needed a refrigerator. So I just told Claude to go and research this refrigerator, do all the work, and then just put it in my cart. Sure enough, it worked, and it found the refrigerator, put it in my cart. All I had to do was go finalize, push the button, and buy. He goes, "But I didn't have to spend hours researching and comparing and looking, and I want this trim and this, and I want this ice maker, I want this." No, it did it all for me. And I was like, that's good enough. Click the button and go. And so we were just laughing. But just another fun example with AI, how much time. I think that's the biggest thing. And for you and I, we know the greatest asset we have is our time. And so how I think about AI is, how can it give me more time back? But how can it help me make better, faster decisions? Our growth is dependent upon our decisions per. And when we get hung up and we get decision fatigue and we're trying to work through too many things, to me, that's the real beauty of AI. Because I maybe need to spend that extra 5 or 10% to finalize it and get it across the finish line. But I don't have to exhaust all of that energy trying to figure out to make a decision. And so I think, you look at use cases and how it helps you make better, faster decisions, make better decisions that are going to move you closer to where you want to be. I think it's really, really amazing. And so talking about, Cindi, I know I didn't answer your question. So what was the question again?
Second brain.
Second brain.
Phil Sawyer on this.
Yeah, so I got distracted with all the coolness that Matt was talking to me about, but we talked about the same thing, and he's like, "Well, why would I want to have a second brain?" And I said, "Well, what we just shared, right? The models are improving, new releases every 5.5 days. By January, it'll be every day. Right now, I believe Claude is your best all-around solution to solve whatever you want. Is that going to be true in January? I don't know. Nobody knows. Right? There could be, another model that comes over the top that just squashes them all. I mean, Elon could get, 30 minutes free and decide that he wants to solve this and go solve it. And then now, SpaceX AI is the best AI platform. Who knows? But the way Phil put it is like, listen, if you have everything in the second brain, and let's say XYZ AI comes along and is the holy grail of AI, now you got to take the time and go set it up and get it to learn you and go like that. Or can you just plug it right into your second brain and it's good to go just like that? Yes. It's good to go just like that. And like this call, right? It's being transcribed into notes, and everything we're talking about here is going to dump right into the second brain, and it's going to be there. It's learning every day, just like you and I are learning every day. This brain's learning. Why not have that second brain learning right along with you? And just like to your example, your assistant, your AI assistant went right into your email, pulled up stuff, went into your drive, found something from 3 years ago and still brought it up. And that's the beauty of, especially if you're a lifelong learner like yourself, Cindi, where you've committed decades and decades to being a lifelong learner, and you have all of that information and it's here. And we know that's good, but we also know that's bad. But if you can let it live in a place that it never forgets and it can recall everything, that's the power. That's the power I see in it. And I understand why Phil is like, that's his number one thing, is like, set up your second brain. Like, if you're going to do anything with AI, set up your second brain. And I know there's other uses, but for me, that's the most powerful use. What are your take on it? What is your thoughts on it?
I 100% agree with you. I'm trying to figure out, we started with how to train your own ChatGPT by loading, your DIS assessments and some other assessments on you. So they knew how you think and then how they respond as if they were you. Tina Call came up with the first one, the program for that, and shared it with a group of us. And we all trained our own ChatGPT to think like we do, but just more enhanced, of course, and to speak like we do, respond like we do. Now, the second brain concept, I need to get my head wrapped completely around it, figure out what needs to go into it, because you're right. The model there's going to be a better model than Claude eventually.
Yes.
There just is.
Yep.
Even though that's the best right now, there's going to be a more powerful model eventually. And you want to be ready to be able to move into it and not lose what you've already put together. Just like training your TC department. You want them to know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And not have to rewrite these every time you get into a different model. So I'm probably going to take Phil Stringer's class on that to figure out how to set up the second brain. I haven't done that yet. But
I had Chris on our team who does all the tech stuff for us. She runs Go High Level for us, and she sat in on a few of his things. She built it, and I get an update from her all the time. Hey, we're good. It's firing. Everything's like it's supposed to be. Like we, getting the notes, getting your notes in is super important. And I know Stringer was big on using granola to get in there. So we started looking at it, but then all of a sudden, my favorite AI app right now is WhisperFlow. And WhisperFlow just rolled out the note feature. So this is being transcribed, obviously through the AI, but through WhisperFlow. WhisperFlow is connected to our second brain. It's taking everything here. It'll take all of the notes and it'll push it right into the expert mentors file, inside the podcast file, inside of the second brain file, because that's all it is. It's just a big file. And so it's I think you nailed it earlier, Cindi. It's just really interesting and awesome times that we're in.
Absolutely. I know Phil has one set up for business and for personal. His personal relationships in his life and then his business. He actually showed it on a screen. It was very fascinating to see in one of his programs. But setting up two is probably the answer, personal and business.
I like that.
And letting them just fire off of each other.
I like that.
More about it.
I like that. I would love to pick his brain a little bit on why the separation. And Phil wears the little pendant. So if you guys see Phil and he's got this little pendant on, it's not just a fancy, cool looking piece of jewelry. It's actually an AI pendant that is recording everything. And he's got it filtered to where it'll pull certain things and ignore certain things, like certain conversations of things that are just mind numbing. We're talking about, the Pirates and how Skeens is stinking. And of course the Pirates are doing their typical, falling off at the end of the second half of the season. It's not going to pick that up because it doesn't matter, right? That's not information that needs to be stored that we're going to utilize, to recall on in the future. But too, Cindi, as we, all come, when we turn 120, 125 years old and, it's time for us to move on. Now we can take our second brain, upload it into our AI robot. And, now you got another version of you roaming around.
That's wild. Isn't that wild?
It's you listen to the Moonshot guys, AWG, and he just, his take on the singularity is that all sci-fi coming together at once, right?
Mhm.
Like every sci-fi thing that you can imagine, all Star Trek, all the Star Wars, everything's coming together.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. It really is interesting times. And I just, like I mentioned to you, I have not been this excited since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to put into words how come or why,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just a feeling that I have that I haven't felt in almost a decade.
Mm, that's amazing. I love
Isn't it
that. I love
crazy?
hearing that.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cindi, obviously, we talked a lot about to the team leaders, the ones with the resources. We talked a little bit to the agents. Speak to them a little bit of how, to best serve them to where it's not a distraction, but they're actually putting themselves in a position that is going to help them achieve their goals versus take them off the path of getting there.
Mm-hmm. Again, I think going down the road of trying to build it yourself, DIY, as you put, build it your own, I think is a mistake that agents will make if they try to connect it all up themselves. I think it's better to buy it. It's not that expensive, it's really not. When you look at it, it can keep you organized, and especially it can keep your mind organized. I would definitely look into what it costs to go ahead and buy one, and they're going to be all over the place. I think
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
different companies offering them, and so it's I think it's something to learn. I don't think that you want to let it get past you and say I'm not going to ever adopt AI, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are not going to ever adopt AI. There's offices I talk to that have no interest in adopting AI, and I think
Mm-hmm.
those people will be left behind
I would
when
agree.
it comes to it. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be an option to not adopt it,
Yeah.
because it really makes your life so much easier, and it gives
Mm-hmm.
you just a peace of mind, especially if you're running a large team and you have a lot of responsibility, a lot of people that are counting on you. But to adopt it, I just think that you get a hold of a company that's putting it together,
Yeah.
and not try to put it together yourself.
I would
That's,
agree.
that's the advice that I have for it.
And if you don't have the budget, then that's where I'm saying get on a dang team that believes in this and that supports this and that provides this as a solution to help you grow your business. I think that's like team leaders get this built, get it available for your teams. To me, is really like the move for you as a team lead. And I'm with you. The folks that are resisting this, they're just shooting themselves in the foot because this game is all about speed.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the key lessons from this year was from, I believe it might have been Eric Schmidt that said this from Google. The companies and the organizations that are built to learn faster than any of their other companies in their space will be the companies that will win. Mm-hmm. And so when I hear somebody saying, we don't believe in that AI thing, I know they're dead. I know we got them. I'm not worried about them. Mm-hmm. Let's keep going. And the reason is Cindi, is what we said earlier. It's all about speed and decisions. You make better decisions faster because you're learning faster than anybody else. That's how we win. That's what you're doing. I know you're aware of it, but what you're doing is you're learning and you're moving and you're making decisions faster than anybody else. And that's why you're starting to see a separation in the marketplace from you and everybody else. I mean, you already had the separation, but you're starting to create the Grand Canyon between you and everybody else, is because your ability to learn faster than anybody.
And one thing, John, too, I want to add too, my son, he just graduated from high school this last year. I think our young people need to know AI. And I know in schools, he went to a private school, they did not want him using AI. They looked at it as a cheat tool. And I think that people look at it as a cheat tool. It's not a cheat tool. AI is not a cheat tool. It's a educational tool. It makes you better. Mm-hmm. It's going to streamline, but it's going to make you better. And I think our young people, as parents that are on this, watching this, don't let your school say, hey, we're not going to teach AI. Get them into an environment that they're going to learn AI and learn it the right way. not learn it secretly. Be open about it. See what exactly AI can do. It does so much, and it can build so much. And so I know I went to the school several times when my son was, they talked to him because I'm a big AI user and I taught him how to use it. And the teachers were having a struggle with it. And so I told him, I said, you guys need to adopt AI instead of boycotting it at the school.
Yes.
And so anyway, they started adopting it the next year very well. But I'm just saying, as a parent, you want to make sure your young people know how to use AI.
Yeah. And I think that's the move as parents with our kids, getting them into schools that embrace this and that are not so rigid on the curriculum, that they're open to changing the curriculum based upon what we're learning and the demands and things that are becoming available through technology and through AI. That's, as parents, we need to put our kids on that path. I couldn't agree with you more with that. So Cindi, I know you're going to have an event coming up talking about AI agents for folks that want to connect with you, that want to kind of pick your brain on your AI solution, maybe some things to look for in interviewing and looking for an AI agent solution. How can they get connected with you? And then also, I think, get connected with you so that they can, get information on the webinar, on the path that you're able to provide. What are the best ways for folks to align and get connected with you?
We have a couple of ways you can find us. We're on Facebook with the Center for Real Estate Professionals. That's our training hub where we teach people how to do AI. We have an upcoming CE class that should be posted on there. We actually have a CE class where they're going to be showing, and I think it's next Thursday. I'm not even the one teaching it yet. I have another lady that's coming in that's being sponsored out that's actually teaching AI assistants and how to get those built out. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're putting some webinars together right now and they'll be out, but watch the Center for Real Estate Professionals on Facebook is where to go.
I love it. Guys, get plugged into what Cindi's doing. It's always about being a chapter or two ahead of everybody. Chapters, like, I think you're a whole section ahead of everybody. I mean, that means you're 4, 5, 6 chapters ahead of everybody. And so you're really, you're taking a lot of arrows and you're figuring things out and can collapse time by getting plugged in with Cindi. So I can't, encourage you guys enough to reach out, get on that list, be paying attention, jump into these webinars and these trainings as soon as you can, because, thank you for you out there, saving a lot of folks a lot of time by the trial and error that you're going through.
John, thank you for having me on. And you and you've coached me for years. How many years do we go back now?
Over a decade.
Yeah, exactly. You've helped me a lot in my business.
I think we're 14, 15 years in. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy. So thank you for all your help you've been in our business. And so I love being on your podcast. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help, and check us out on the Center for Real Estate Professionals.
Absolutely. You guys go give Cindi lots of love. And I know we'll be back soon as fast as we're moving. We need updates on a regular basis. So Can't thank you enough. Guys, appreciate you, Cindi. Appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys next time. See you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.